Now you're muted. Yeah, now you're not. You can test your audio.
Can you
There
hear
you
me
go.
now?
Yay.
Okay.
Yes, perfectly. Great. Is your co-presenter coming today?
Yes.
Great. Well, we'll wait a little bit for her to come.
Yes.
That would be Salma. Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, hopefully she'll
I
show
don't
up
know
soon.
if she's having any trouble or...
Was it difficult for you?
No, not really.
Okay, good. Did you get my message? I sent you an email
Yes.
through the... Okay. I could send one to her.
She said that the program doesn't let her in. I don't know.
Is she using
If
the right
she...
link? Make sure
Sorry?
she's using the right email, the correct link, and the
Yes,
it
the
should talk
email
about
is
September
correct.
6th. What is the error message it's given her?
Sorry?
What when she tries to join the meeting, what does it say to her?
It asks for her email, but then when she says that when she clicked to enter, it doesn't let her in.
Did it ask for your email address when you went in the meeting?
No.
I don't think it should ask for her email address either.
Yeah. I
Ask her to
entered
search for the right. She needs to search for the one that says Gruen Zoom training link confirmation for the September 6th date. I'll try to send her a message with that.
I just entered directly. I don't know why she's having trouble.
We'll give her a few more minutes. Let's see if I can find her. Lucia,
Yes.
move your mic away a little bit farther from your mouth so when you're
Okay.
breathing, it doesn't, otherwise you hear the...
She is telling me that she's in, but
Oh.
I can see her.
Yes, I see her. Thanks. There she is.
Yeah, okay. That's free. Okay. Okay, now.
Good. She should also test her microphone. Hello, Salma.
Hello. Hello.
I can hear you fine. Ooh, I like your background. It's all pink.
Thank you.
Very nice. Okay. Well, whenever you guys are ready.
Okay, but we didn't have any idea of what this would be. Like our teacher just we just know that our teacher told us that this conference would be for letting us know how do we have to do it on the Thursday.
Okay. Well, you have 15 minutes to present. You should have a slideshow,
Yeah.
or at least you could discuss your website or whatever you want to present to present your ideas. Um, I'm pretty sure you did a presentation last time, didn't you have a slideshow?
Yeah, we have a slideshow, and we also did a city design video.
Okay. Well,
Present.
the main tip I would give you is when you click on share screen, that green button at the bottom, go ahead and
Yeah.
click on it, and you'll see at the bottom two tick boxes. One says share computer sound, and the other one says optimize screen sharing for video clip. I would tick both those boxes, and that
Okay.
way you'll be able to hear the sound from your video and it'll go full screen.
Okay. And
Okay,
the maximum time we have is 15 minutes.
that's right, 15, 1 5.
Okay. Because I have time how long our presentation lasts, and it's about 16, 18, so I have to
Well,
resume it then.
yeah, you have to
Okay.
try to keep it under 16 minutes because I will definitely
Okay.
come in and say time's up or 1 minute left. Maybe I'll just type chat 1 minute left. Um,
Okay.
but that's the idea of the practice, is so that you can get an idea how to fit your presentation in the amount of time. And
And
also, if you and Salma want to take turns, you could do that. One of the other groups, one girl talks about this slide, and the other presenter talks about that
okay.
slide, or however you want
Maybe
to
that's
do it.
better. Yes. Because if not,
If
it's just one who has to learn everything.
I agree. So
Okay.
the more practice, the better. You might want to practice it more in the coming days. You have until September
Mhm.
10th.
Yes.
So
And then on the 10th that we have to present, after I think I'm the first one to present as I'm team one. Is it right?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you're the main presenter, and Salma's listed as your backup. But um, personally, I think all the members of the group should participate, but that's what the
Yeah.
Gruen administrators at Hong Kong Baptist said, that they should designate one or two. It is more difficult with coordination if you have many people and different voices and maybe confusion. So you too should try to work it out how you want to present, include your video. If you want to show something from your website, it's up to you. It's your 15 minutes of fame.
Okay. And then after we do the presentation on Thursday, do we stay on the conference and see others projects, or
Up to you. If I was in the project, I would probably watch at least some of the other people. And then if you're selected to be a finalist on the third day, then you'll do Q&A with the judges and probably some interviews and stuff, just talking about your ideas.
okay.
We'll see how that goes. I don't think we've worked out the third day completely, but the first day is just for presentations. And you're on the schedule, right? You see the time you're supposed to come in that day.
Okay.
Okay, well, whenever you're ready.
Okay, so it's what I told you for. It lasts more than the 15 minutes, so
Yep, we'll start about 8:12
okay.
for
So
me anyways, 8:13. What time is it there?
it's 3 p.m.
And 13 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, so
So
try to keep it around 15 minutes. Whenever you're ready, just start sharing your screen.
okay.
What does it say in the background there, Salma? I solemnly swear.
I solemnly swear that I am up to no good. It's
Oh,
a
yes.
Harry Potter sentence.
I remember. I remember. It was in the, that's what they had to say to open the diary or something, wasn't it?
A map. It was a map.
A map. That's right. The map. And they could see where everybody was walking.
Yes.
That was so cool. I remember that.
Okay, so can you see the presentation?
Yes. Team number one. We're number one.
Okay, so this would be for the introduction.
Okay.
We would present ourselves, or say our names, and say that we are the ones
Yes.
that are going to present the project.
If you
then,
guys have any problems with your audio, we should turn off our video. So I think I will go ahead and stop my video like this. But I would recommend that at least the two of you should probably show yours. But if you have any problems with audio quality, then I will probably say something in chat. And if you don't hear that or see that, I mean, then I'll speak up. But go ahead and keep your video going. Lucia, no, go ahead. If your audio is good, go ahead and
yeah,
show your
okay.
face. And yeah, I think preferably as long as your bandwidth is sufficient, then you should definitely show your faces. You know, they want to put a face to the name, that kind of thing.
Okay. So
Okay.
here is for introducing the team members that are Thomas and James from Hong Kong, Anua and Janita from India, and Nicole from Netherlands that she finally can't join us on the conference because I think that her high school decided not to participate. But she's
Oh,
been with us since the beginning. So let's introduce her also.
yes.
And Salma and I from Spain. And then we will have the index with the 7 different criteria that we have based the project on. And the first point will be mitigation and energy use by Salma. So do you have it to do it like if it was the real presentation?
Yes, I would do it exactly like the real presentation.
Okay, so if Salma wants to do her part.
You guys should work it out so you know exactly who's going to do what slide.
Yeah. So the ones, Salma, the one that each of us has written, we could divide it like that if you want.
Okay. But I don't have it right now, so I have to look at it.
Yes. Now, I mean, today we are going to read it because it's too much information to learn it by heart right now. So
Yeah, you can read it and talk a bit about it. I wouldn't read it exactly like what's on the
Yeah.
slide, but just talk about the ideas to kind of make it a conversational tone, you know.
Well, so I am going to start talking about mitigation and energy use. At first, I am going to talk about improved energy efficiency. Urbanization has led to massive demand for energy to power economic activity, expand infrastructure and deliver municipal service. To improve energy efficiency, we will be promoting innovation while still focusing on results, to foster global partnerships, to strive for integrated and cross-sectoral approaches, bringing higher value and multi-benefits to clients and to respond to client demands and needs. Moreover, we will be making diagnostic and assessments of city energy use and energy efficiency potential, and to train the capacity of building enhanced understanding of urban energy efficiency and its delivery. Now I am talking about a greater use of renewable energy. First, I am going to explain solar energy. We are developing systems, tools, and procedures to save time and money to our clients by gaining in efficiency. The potential for solar energy is enormous, since it's about 200,000 times the world's total daily electric generation capacity is received by Earth every day in the form of solar energy. So it is one of the best ways of supplying our town. Now I am talking about geothermal energy. It's a carbon-free, renewable, sustainable form of energy that provides a continuous, uninterrupted supply of heat that can be used to heat homes and office buildings and to generate electricity. Geothermal energy only produces 1/6 of the CO2 produced by a natural gas plant, and it is not as intermittent source of energy like wind or solar. And now I am talking about the community goals. Review existing plans and other policy documents to ensure hazard mitigation goals are consistent with the goals of other community plans, such as the comprehensive plans and other objectives established by the governing body.
Okay, so now I'm talking about our second criteria, sustainable urban mobility. Our city center must not be a crowded place in terms of traffic, and to achieve this, private vehicles won't be able to enter the area. Instead, we are fomenting public transport and also bikes and walking as durable as possible. For this, we need to encourage inhabitants, and to do so, biking, bus, and tram lanes will be all along the city center. However, we can't be a sustainable city just fomenting the use of public transport if it isn't powered by renewable energy. That's why all public transport will be electric in order to lower down the CO2 emissions. And therefore, instead of gas stations, there will be electric charging stations. Private vehicles will also tend to be electric, and to guarantee that bicycle fomentation is done correctly, there will be bike rentals and also bicycle parkings so that citizens can have a place to park their bikes safely.
Now the sustainable land use. Sustainable land use ensures a fair and balanced distribution of land, water, biodiversity, and other environmental resources between the various competing claims in order to secure human needs now and in the future. The methods we will be applying are the following ones: construction of wide bicycle lanes throughout the city, replacing coal, natural gas, and fossil fuels with renewable energy, redevelop all buildings into green buildings to allow vertical planting and construction of solar panels on rooftops in order to prevent urban sprawl, retreat all sewage dischargement systems and connect them to sewage treatment plants, phase up diesel oil cars and replace them with electric cars, guarantee the proximity of green areas and public transport from residential areas, and of course, conserve valuable buildings and landscapes. Now, the noise. To assure a correct sleep to our citizens, free from noise harmful to health, and to ensure that all schools and institutions should be subject to only low traffic noise levels during the day, we will apply the following methods. Noise reducing asphalt and renovation of schools and office. It should be laid during road maintenance and the speed limit of new roads, work on a full renovation of schools when necessary and possible. In the renovations, there will be included noise concerns and sound insulating windows in rooms facing busy roads. The traffic planning and implementation of intelligent transport system. Establishing a speed limit zone in different areas of the city and to avoid heavy traffic, we will be gathering as much as heavy traffic as possible on road stretches best suited to this type of traffic. Work on the strategy is looking at the possibilities for speed limits at night to take account of noise concerns. Many of the ITS projects will be beneficial regarding noise as possibly will be improved, ensuring smoother traffic flows. Furthermore, it will be possible to set up variable speed limit signs to speeds can be reduced at night on stretches with high noise impacts. And finally, to promote the use of less noise vehicles. As it shows, the Sustainable Urban Mobility Plan charging stations will be set up in places around the city, as we will promote electric cars and also hydrogen powered cars. Moreover, both would be exempt from parking charge. There will be an improvement in cyclist condition, like green cycle routes away from roads and better parking facilities for cycles.
Okay, and now the fifth criteria is sustainable economy. In our city, we can't allow ourselves to have an economy system based on make, use, and dispose of the materials, just like the actual one used in the majority of places. Instead, we have a sustainable economy system based on reuse, recycle, and repair. New materials will be produced just when necessary. That means when the old ones aren't useful anymore after they've been recycled to the limit. But although these measures on the way materials will be used, we also have to make sure that as the base of our circular economy, those materials are eco-friendly. Changing into green and reusable materials is a great solution to help the environment. And to achieve this, products will be made from biodegradable substances and plastic will be eliminated as an optional material of production. Then, if we change the way products are made, we must also change the way they are sold. Every shop or establishment will be compromised to sell their products using just the basic necessary. That means leaving aside all the extra wrapping. For example, in the case of legumes or dried fruit, they will be sold by using dispensers. Now, the sixth criteria is water. Clean, accessible water for all is an essential part of the world we want to live in, and there is sufficient fresh water on the planet to achieve this. In our city, we guarantee the access to clean and potable water for all citizens. And we also make sure to keep all natural bodies clean so that the environment is protected. To do so, we can use machines like Mr. Trash. Mr. Trash is a trash cleaner powered by solar energy and the river current. It collects the litter that flows down the river. However, we hope it won't be necessary to use any similar machine in our city, although it could be useful to keep the river clean from fallen leaves or branches and other materials blown by the wind. And finally, the seventh and last criteria is governance. As the governance institution, we must make sure the well-being of our citizens. And to achieve that, we must guarantee a stable economy that offers everyone a job and a minimum salary. We also foment culture and entertainment so that citizens are able to express themselves and relax from routine. That includes public parks and green areas too. Having green spaces will definitely improve the well-being of the whole city. And our city's society is also respectful with every individual, no matter his skin color, appearance, place of belonging, or beliefs. Moreover, we support feminist and LGBT community so that everyone can feel safe and included in this beautiful place. And now it will be the, well, of course, where I have taken the photos of the presentation. And now we will have the end of the presentation, and we will go to the video presentation of the design.
Well, you're right at 15 minutes. How long is your video?
5 minutes. So we have to cut on the presentation.
Yeah, we have time to watch it right now if you like, if you want to practice and consider cutting down your presentation to fit the video. It depends on, I thought the presentation was very good. Obviously you guys are reading it, but you're speaking pretty naturally. So maybe practice it a bit more. So it feels very comfortable. But we have time to watch the video now if you want.
Okay. Can you hear it?
Barely, very quiet.
Okay.
Is it possible to turn up the audio?
Sorry?
Can you make it louder?
It's no.
Hmm.
Maybe you can put it louder from your PC or.
Well, I think that's I can just barely hear it, so I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Then I would have to make it louder by editing.
I'm not sure if the audio was actually playing over the computer. I think it's just playing in for you and then going into your microphone. That would be my guess. So when you share your screen, you have to make sure you click the box that says share computer audio.
Okay, I'm gonna try it again.
When you click on that green button on the
Yeah.
very bottom left, share computer sound.
I think now
Okay,
it is.
I'm Lucia from Team
Perfect.
1 of Green
Good.
First Cycle,
Okay.
and this is a video presentation of our city design. First of all, let's see how energy will be produced. What you see here is the industrial area, where there are just a few factories and the geothermal central, which generates about 35–40% of the whole energy of the city. However, as you can see, the area is near a huge green space located, of course, far away from the city itself, as a way of keeping a clean and fresh air on the populated part of the city. We also have the wind farm, which is responsible for the 45–50% of the energy that our city produces. As well as the industrial area, the wind farm is on the outskirts. The 10–15% left of the energy will be produced by solar panels placed on different buildings, so that they cover about half of the energy they need. Because of it, you'll be able to see solar panels on the majority of buildings. Now, I'm glad to present you the city center of our beautiful town. This is a perfect example of our ideal about having as many green areas as possible, and also an area free of carbon emissions, as cars and private vehicles don't have access to the city center. Our city promotes citizens to use public transport, which is totally powered by electricity. To the extent possible, private vehicles will also be electric. That's the reason why there will be diverse charging stations along the town. Although this, the better way to move around, especially along the downtown area, is by bicycle. Across the city, you can find some points to rent bicycles and many others to park your bike, just like this one. A bit farther, but not much from the downtown, we can find the residential areas. All individual houses, they have their own garden as a green space and get part of the energy from their own solar panels. Moreover, big windows allow people to take advantage of natural light, so that the use of electricity is also reduced. If we talk about preserving the landscape and natural places, that's definitely a reality in our city. The colorful buildings you see here are offices. They are strategically situated in a calm place near the river, so that workers are able to focus properly. Located a bit apart, but in a medium point of town and near the mountains, we can find the hospital. As you see, it's a beautiful, relaxing place which offers patients the perfect surroundings to distract themselves and workers the appropriate ones to deal with the job. Just in front of the hospital, there's a hotel so that patients' relatives can stay near the beloved ones. If we move into the coast, we can find the port. It surely is the center of the international economy of the city, so it's certainly a very important part for our development. Although the fact that ports can damage the coast habitats, our port area is, as the rest of the city, totally respectful with the environment. In the other part of the coast, we have a natural beach, which is, as well as the forest, a natural protected space and a perfect location to enjoy nature. Unifying the beach and the city center, there's a pedestrian avenue with many restaurants with different food styles. Just the ideal plan to eat with your family or friends and go for a walk along the avenue or even at the beach. On the surroundings of the downtown, there's a shopping area with independent shops. As you can see on the image, all entrances have plants so that they provide a fresh sensation apart from beautifying the place. There's also a cinema and a modern and spaceful theater, since we also foment culture as part of the well-being of our citizens. And talking about well-being, there must be a sports area too. Provided with football, basketball and tennis fields, and even a swimming pool, citizens would have a great place to practice sport. As you can see, the tennis field and the swimming pool have a mobile cover, so that they are also accessible in cold or rainy weather. The same with those 3 covers next to the soccer field. They can be moved to protect the football and basketball fields or use the space they are already covering that are provided to practice sports such as martial arts or gymnastics. Green spaces are not only on the outskirts, as along the city center area there are quite some parks in order to keep the air as clean as possible thanks to plants and trees. Fountains and water bodies such as the river and the sea would also help to reduce high temperatures and convert the city into a warm place. This is the end of our video design presentation. I hope you now have an idea how our city will be and that you like it as much as we do.
Okay, so that's the video.
Well, it's a very nice video, but I think your presentation is exactly 15 minutes. What I recommend that you do at least is to send this link to the Gruen team, EU-Gruen, Evelina, and she will put it on the Facebook page for the conference.
But then we won't show the video on the conference
Well,
day.
not unless you want to cut down your presentation, but I think your presentation is more directly focused on the individual the research you did and the ideas you had.
Yes.
So I think your presentation is very good. I wish you had more time to show the video because I like the drawings and the idea of the vision. This is what you guys see as
the
how your
video
city would look.
the video is mainly it's just the ideas of the presentation, but to show it like it would be just like how the
Yes.
city would look.
If we had 20 minutes, I would definitely say show the video, but we only have 15. So unless you want to cut down your presentation, but definitely send the link to Evelina on the Gruen team, and she will post it on the Facebook page.
Okay.
Okay, well, Salma, thank you for coming. I think you both did a great job. I really have no suggestions other than maybe practice it one or 2 more times. Just walk through it so that on the day you feel very comfortable with the text. Try not to sound like you're reading. Try to sound more a little like presenting, you know what I mean? And now here we are with, the next great idea like that. But it just takes a little bit of practice and then put a little bit of personality into it, a little bit of enthusiasm. But overall, I think you did a very good job.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming to practice. And I will see you on September 10th, yeah, for the conference day. And best of luck.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
All right, take care, guys.
See you.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Victoria.
Yep. Hello.
Hey. Yeah, there you are. Very good. Wow, I like your background. It's very good for the idea of the Gruen, right? It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
More of the nature side.
Definitely. definitely. No, that's a very good choice, I think.
Thank
I wish
you.
mine, it's
Um,
hard for me to get in the middle. I have to turn the laptop about 10 degrees to put my head in the middle. I don't know why.
my groupmate Annette is also here.
Okay,
Um,
there
one
she
of the
is.
attendees.
And now she's coming in as a panelist. Are you going to share the audio, take turns presenting?
Oh, Annette is gonna be the one presenting, and I'll be sharing my screen for the
Oh, okay. Great. Hello, Annette. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Where are you located?
I'm in Hong Kong, like Victoria.
Oh, I see. Wow, your English sounds so American. It's amazing.
Really?
All the international school students have American accents in a British colony. How does that happen?
Huh.
I think it's just movies and maybe
Yeah.
it's simpler, it's easier to adopt, or maybe you have a lot of American teachers. I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah. I also have another groupmate, Justin. I think he's waiting for approval to join the meeting.
Okay, I don't see him in the attendees list, so he hasn't connected yet.
I think he's waiting for the approval. I think.
You'd have to get a custom invitation from Ivelina at EU-Gruen, but
Oh,
I'm not sure if they would allow him to be a panelist. They've only approved to have a presenter and a co-presenter or a backup presenter.
okay.
I think it's a good idea to have two faces and maybe take turns on the slides or whatever you guys want to do. But I see their point that if you have 6 people presenting, it's hard to coordinate. A lot of different voices, more likely to have problems, with more people, more potential issues with audio. Oh, and before I forget, if you do have any problem with your audio, I will send you a message to whoever's having the audio problem, and I'll recommend that you turn off your video just to make sure, because the audio is the most important. The video is a nice thing. It's nice to put the face to the name, but if we do have any, blue, 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 like that, it suddenly gets all burbly, then I would recommend that you turn off your video, and hopefully that will fix the problem. But Hong Kong usually has pretty good bandwidth, so probably have no problems for you. The Indian, actually it was Annika. I'm not positive where Annika is, but she had burbly audio, and she said she's going to present from her school on the conference day. So hopefully that'll fix her problems.
Okay.
All right, ladies, whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'll share.
I show 8:41. So what time is it in Hong Kong? 9:41 p.m.?
Yep.
Okay, so roughly 15 minutes, and I'll send you a chat message and tell you 1 more minute.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sharing my screen now. And I'll mute myself.
If you do show any video, then when you share your screen, notice that down at the bottom left, there's 2 choices for tick boxes. One says share computer sound, and the other one says optimize screen for video share or something like that. You should tick both those boxes.
Can you guys see my screen? I'm already.
Yes.
Yes.
Paradias on the Green City.
Then I'll mute myself for now.
Okay, me too. All right. Good luck.
Sorry, just 1 moment. Okay. I'd like to record my time. All right then. Ready? Victoria. Okay, good. All right. So 1, 2, 3. Hi everyone. Today I'll be representing our Team 4 Green group to present our ideas on a green city. So our team consists of 6 members. Me, Annette, and Victoria are from Hong Kong. Justin and Jason are from Indonesia, and Irene and Ivan are from Europe. Our presentation is split into 3 parts. First, we'll talk about the problems we're facing, and then we'll present our criteria and our solutions that we came up with. So, let's talk about the current problems that our cities are facing right now. As of 2019, 55.7% of the world population is living in urban areas, and our resources are continuously being depleted at the same time. So, with this high demand from our growing urban populations and an energy strain with our high exploitation of resources, we have a lot of problems that we're going to have to deal with in urban cities. There's also more air pollution or carbon emissions in urban areas, and this would all help put us into the verge of reaching tipping points due to global warming and the climate crisis. So these concerns all pressure governments to design a green, sustainable urban city with long-term solutions to mitigate the impacts of the climate crisis. Our team has identified two major problems at hand that we have to solve or focus on. The first would be the health of citizens, since healthy citizens will form a healthy society, and the well-being of citizens would also affect workforce efficiency and subsequently the economy of the city or country itself. The second point would be the loss of natural capital and biodiversity, since we rely on nature for our resources, and if we lose these resources that we could extract, this would lead to a very worrying future and a lot of unknown environmental dangers. As of 2020, in light of COVID-19, we're also facing a bit more of new environmental problems or more severe ones. Two major problems would be the plastic waste that we're generating due to the number of takeout and plastic packaging we're using, and the increased use of electricity since more people are staying at home. As mentioned before, the urban population is increasing a lot more, and this would lead to more possibilities of emerging infectious diseases, which would demand social reforms as well. So, what are the few criteria that we've made for urban planning? The first one would be air quality. This would heavily affect the well-being and health of citizens, since a lot of deaths are globally linked to ambient air pollution, and they're mainly caused by car emissions and the burning of fossil fuels in industrial processes. We'd also like to put focus on the link between transportation and air quality, since 22% of carbon dioxide emissions are from the transport sector, so we cannot neglect this source of emissions. And the second criteria would be water quality. Since water is the source of life, and a lot of daily practices and lifestyles are dependent on water, such as drinking or farming or cleaning, we have to maintain a clean source of water to avoid more illnesses or deaths due to unsafe water sources. A lot of waste disposal into the water sources are overlooked, and a lot more serious problems can stem to affect our long-term future, such as eutrophication. And the third criteria would be to protect our biodiversity. Since biodiversity contributes to our natural capital and it's vital for a lot of industries, it helps us maintain a balance in our ecosystem where such as natural feedback loops, where we would avoid tipping points because of these two feedback loops, and the loss of biodiversity can lead to more human crises like the Nepal virus and maybe more pandemic situations that we'll have to deal with. So there must be minimized disturbance to our natural areas when we develop our green urban cities. And the last criteria we came up with would be eco-innovation. We think that this is a very important aspect in a city since it can be connected to all the criterias, and it can encourage the community to take account of environmental concerns and it would also create more job opportunities and stimulate the economy. So what are the solutions we came up with to meet all of these criteria? We've divided urban planning into four categories. The first would be residential areas where citizens live. So for residential areas, we aim to create people-friendly neighborhoods where we focus areas for residential uses rather than for transportation or other commercial or industrial uses. And we also acknowledged the problem of having less space in urban cities with a growing population. So we want to utilize rooftop spaces for energy generation or gardens. So we could add solar panels into rooftop spaces and also perhaps more farms and gardens to educate the public on teaching on growing their own food and having a reliable source of food. And we also want to integrate more native and plant and animal species into these urban neighborhoods so we can maintain the biodiversity that we find in different cities or countries. And I hope everyone would know that we aim to create a circular economy. So we should focus on the output and also the input into a circular economy. So let's talk about the resource management and waste management. For resource management, our group thinks that the tariffs and different tariffs and campaigns should be added by the government to encourage production of renewable energy, where a slow but steady transition from fossil fuels must be made so we can use more renewable sources of energy and destroy our dependence on fossil fuels, since it would take a long time to replenish these resources. And we should choose our different resources and energy sources according to the geographical and topographical location of different countries. Yes. So, and the next important point in a circular economy would be the waste management. So we want stricter government supervision on industrial waste treatments, where maybe extra fees could be added for different companies. So the government could add more waste treatment, or tax benefits can be given to different companies that have proper waste management. So the extra fees can be used to implement filtration processes to limit pollutants from entering the air and water systems that is very close to. And it's important to note that the neglect and improper disposal of waste can lead to a lot of future problems. So some of the solutions would be uses of biofuel, composting, and more eco-innovation. We found a case study that's very interesting, where this is in Sweden, where it's called the waste to energy system. And from this case study, we can know that the benefits and convenience of a good waste management system is the two key factors in the successful implementation of this system. So the waste would be put into low carbon incinerators to generate electricity and heating back to residential areas, and citizens can also recycle cans and PET bottles in exchange for money. So these would all encourage citizens to join in on this movement. And we think that communal waste management is also very important, since these small-sized initiatives that focus on smaller and tighter communities can have an easier implementation and also show a larger impact. So some examples would be the Hong Kong neighborhood recycling initiatives, and like Waste No More or the Hong Kong Foodwise Charter. So our last part of this urban planning would be transportation. We want to implement more bicycle rental systems like the Velib in France, and to increase the quality of roads and transport systems in a green urban environment, such as wider streets or safer public transport spaces So we would ensure that the transportation systems added into a city would be used by residents, and they wouldn't just be there to waste space or be a waste of money for the government. And for heavy traffic areas, we can also add some congestion fees like the Central London Congestion Charge Zone, so we could reduce the air pollution in those areas. The shipping processes of different industries is also very important, since we do not want to neglect the transportation part. And the pollution produced in the shipping processes would be included in the company waste to calculate the tax benefits that a company receives or the extra fees that they have to pay. So back to the congestion fees and heavy traffic areas, we also thought of Barcelona superblocks as a solution for this problem. So it would limit the number of cars crossing these centers, and it actually has a lot of good results from these superblocks, such as a lot of noise and air pollution are reduced from these residential areas or city centers, and it can increase the quality and subsequently improve the health and well-being of citizens. And additionally, we want to encourage companies to use more electrical cars, so perhaps the government would provide some tax benefits for company electrical cars. But we have to take account of the source of electricity in different cities, since some of them might be non-renewable. And some of these solutions that do not fit into those four categories would be eco-innovation, where we add more competitions or workshops to help young minds to help create more solutions in solving our social problem here. And more bursaries and financial aid could be given for eco startups and businesses, so they wouldn't be facing a disadvantage compared to traditional companies. And a lot of wildlife sanctuaries should also be prioritized to maintain a healthy ecosystem. So we've created a mind map here to showcase all of the solutions that we came up with. And as you can see, a lot of these solutions are interconnected with different criterias. So it's a very good approach in urban planning, since we're not only looking at one criteria alone. To conclude, we think that environmental aspects must be acknowledged in urban planning, and a nexus approach can be used and should be used by governments, where they take account of all criteria instead of only focusing on one criteria when they develop these urban cities. And eco-innovation could be a good way to assist in these transitioning, since a lot of new ideas should be acknowledged to improve and change our current systems. And the EAP objectives created by the United Nations can also be used as a guideline to focus on the different problems that we're facing and the problems that we need a solution for. And lastly, we just think that the impacts of global warming and the climate crisis must be minimized when building a green city. So we'd like to end our presentation with a quote, which is, "To cherish what remains of the earth and to foster its renewal is our only legitimate hope of survival." Thank you for listening to our presentation, and I hope we gave you some inspiration on how to manage our cities.
Very good.
Okay.
We've got about, 30 seconds left, so perfect timing. And good to see you, Justin. Are you here as the backup? Unmute your mic, say hello.
Hello, I'm sorry I'm late. It's been a trouble to the connection,
No
so
problem.
I'm trying.
I'm happy to see as many of you that want to participate. Originally, the Gruen team said just one presenter and one backup presenter. But however you guys want to organize it, I thought Annette did a good job. You need to practice a couple more times, so you don't stumble over your words a couple of places. But, that's just a matter of practicing it a bit and being familiar with what you want to talk about. But the timing was good. Justin, I'm happy for you to join and display video during the presentation. Keep in mind that if they do have any audio problems, then obviously the video should be turned off. Where are you joining from?
Uh,
Where do you live?
oh, I live in Indonesia in Semarang.
Oh, and you're there now?
Yes, I'm here now.
Well, your quality looks pretty good, so it shouldn't be a problem. I think it's only for the speaker themselves. If they have any audio problems, then they should turn off their video because it's probably an individual pipe that is the issue.
Yes.
So that's really a message more for Annette. If she has any kind of audio problems, I'll send you a message like this. I'll say audio problem. And do you see that pop up somewhere on your screen?
Mhm. Yep.
Good. And if you see that, I'll just say something like turn off your video, something like that. But hopefully with Hong Kong people, it should be pretty strong, right? Lots of fiber optics. So it's more of a challenge in Indonesia, India, Pakistan, Nepal had some issues once in another project. But I think you did really well. So, and the timing was perfect. So good job. I like Victoria's background. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Very green. You might consider it too, Annette. You could have a group background where you all
Okay.
live in the jungle, the rainforest. All right, guys. Well, yeah, that's my recommendation. Is just practice it a couple more times. Make sure you get the timing with Victoria and Annette. Get your dialogue, down pat, so it comes really smoothly and confident. But overall, you did a great job. Good timing, and should be good to go for September 10th.
Oh, I'd like to ask what time the conference would be.
Well, let's take a look. It is, let's see on the website. So gruencity.org, and then under conference. Day 1, 8 o'clock CET. That'll be 2 p.m. in Hong Kong. And then what group number are you?
Group number.
4?
Group 4. So it shows 2:45 Hong Kong time, the presentation start on day 1. And we'll have to work out a schedule as far as the groups, but group 4, let me see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they all should have presentations, so that would be on the hour 15:45. Should be exactly, if we're on schedule, it would be 3:45 p.m. Hong Kong time. But I would recommend that you show up early. I think to have more people, watching each other's presentations is always good. And I think we're going to have about 5 minutes between presentations for just to manage any issues, if we have any problems technically, that kind of thing.
Okay.
But roughly around 3:45 Hong Kong time.
So the conference would start at 2 p.m. Hong Kong time,
That's correct.
and our presentation would be 3:45.
Yes, that is correct. But always good to show up a little bit early, just in case, and also to solve any problems. Annette, you said that, Victoria said you were having some problems getting in. It was
Yeah.
asking you for an email address,
Mm.
but it shouldn't,
Yeah.
right? With the link supplied by the Gruen team, it should bring you right in.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Did you have to do anything particular to overcome that problem?
I was just trying to find the link that Victoria sent me, and then I had
Yes.
to type in my email and name.
Oh, really? Victoria, did you have to type in your email and name?
Oh, for me, I didn't have to. Like when I clicked the link, I went straight in.
Me too.
Oh.
So Annette, you shouldn't have to type in your email. How about you, Justin?
Well, I have to do it like a net.
Okay.
I have to do it like a net. So
Huh.
I think could it be because when I signed up for this session, like for this rehearsal, only my name was registered. Could that be the reason why they added?
Possibly. But Annette, did you get an email from the Gruen team, EU Gruen Ivelina?
Oh, I think
Is that
so. Maybe I
that
just didn't use the
that email, and it should say, see if I can find that. It should say Gruen Zoom training dash link confirmation, and it talks about date, time, September 6th. And then you click here to join.
Oh yeah, I see it now.
That one should take you straight in. Now,
Alright.
personally, and I told the Gruen team this too, I think it's much safer to use a static link, one that's always the same. So once it's out there, everybody can use it to join. But because we're using this special webinar format where you have 3 levels, attendees, panelists, and hosts, then each individual meeting has to have its own unique link. And so she has to send out emails to everybody just for that. So look for that email when it comes from Ivelina for the conference.
Okay.
Okay.
And maybe you might want to confirm to her that you did receive it, something like that.
Alright.
Does that make sense?
So
Okay.
when will the conference end?
You mean time? What time you mean?
Yeah.
Let's see, it says closing remarks at 6:35 p.m. So I don't know, that'd probably just be like 10 minutes or something. So around by 7, I would say, it'll be finished.
Okay.
And Justin, you'll have to switch those times to Indonesia.
yes.
What time is it there now?
We are 9 past 5.
9 past 5.
5 past 9, sorry.
5 minutes past 9 p.m.
Yes.
Okay, so a little different from Hong Kong.
Yes. It's only an hour difference, so
Yes. Okay, well, that shouldn't be too difficult to calculate. And you can hear, ladies, you can hear the audio that Justin has, right? So if he was going to talk, he should turn off his video. So let's do that now, Justin. Turn off your video and then say a couple of sentences and see if the audio improves.
sorry.
Just turn off your video over on the bottom left. It says start video and stop video, right? So click on stop video. There you go. Now say a couple of sentences. Justin?
Hello. How
Yeah.
are you?
Go ahead and say another sentence.
This is Grand Workshop.
I
I
think
don't
it's
know.
better. Yeah, I think the audio quality is better. So if he wanted to present, he should do it without video. So that's kind of an example of what I've been talking about. Luckily in Hong Kong, your bandwidth is generous, right? You guys have plenty of bandwidth. So should be no problem. I definitely think you should show faces. And if you could get the same background of that rainforest, that would be a good idea. Just to all have the same. And Justin, you're welcome to join as well. Obviously, we'd like to have everybody there from all the groups to participate and at least, be there on the 3rd day for a Q&A. If you make it to the finalist round, then the judges will want to do Q&A with the groups before they decide who are the top 3.
So the 3rd day would be only for finalists, or?
That's right. Only for I think it was top 6. And then from the top 6, they'll choose the top 3. And big prizes and fame will follow.
You think we'll have a chance at that?
I think you all have an equal chance. I thought your presentation was good. It's more about the ideas, but yeah, the presentation will have some value, right? How well it's presented, but mostly they're looking at the ideas that you originally uploaded at the end of cycle 1, you know, what you put up for the assignment, but they will be watching the presentation, so.
Oh, okay. So they'll also be looking at our past work and
Yes. Yes, in cycle 1, they'll be looking particularly at what you uploaded for the assignment at the end of the workshop. But that should be pretty close to what you're presenting, right?
Um,
Well, that's okay if it's
maybe.
not. Maybe.
Yeah, because we had a lot of discussion
Right.
with how our final thoughts would be.
That's fine. That's fine. You could expect your ideas to evolve a bit, right? That's normal. So, but they did start. All the assignments were sent out to the judges, and they will be looking at that and watching your presentation. So I think it'd be both taken into account. But no pressure. It's not. They're not judging you on your elocution abilities, right? You know, it's not about perfect pronunciation. It's more about the value of the ideas. But a little enthusiasm always helps, right? You know, to sound optimistic and upbeat, to bring your ideas across with enthusiasm. Oh, it's all good.
Oh,
Okay.
and we have like another problem
Oh,
within our group.
what's that?
So, as I said in the presentation, we have 6 members, but actually, after the conference was finalized and we were like given notice of that, we have 2 members that's not really helping with our group work. So
That's okay. Just credit them for what they did, and if they want to show up and participate in Q&A, that's fine too. A lot of the groups have a little bit uneven participation, you know, so, but I would still credit them with what they contributed in the original workshop. And if they want to show up for the conference, great.
all right.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
I'm good.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I'm good. That's such a popular thing. The whole world, teenagers say, I'm good. My daughter's 13. She says the same thing.
Oh, that's good.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Well, if you should be good to go. I'd practice a few more times in that just to feel comfortable. That's about it. The timing was good. The ideas are good. Just a bit of practice to feel a little bit more smooth and a little bit more confident. You know, don't overdo it, right? You don't want to sound totally bored with it, but you know, just run through it a few more times is my recommendation.
All right.
Okay. All righty. Well, I will see you on September 10th then.
All right then.
All right. Take care. You
Take care.
too.
Very sorry for being this late, but we are struggling a bit. I tried to join before, but it said the wrong date, and now my partner really can't join. I think he'll be able to live send it in.
Yes. I think you have to find the right email for September 6th because each meeting has its own link. But look for that precise email from the EU-Gruen team. I don't think you're late though. I think you're okay. It shows you as coming in at 4:30. What time is it there now?
4:35. Well,
That's not too bad. You're okay. But I'm happy to see you. Who are you expecting to join you?
Luke Mallet, He said he was going to join, but he didn't really know how, so I've explained it to him and he says he's coming, but I don't know what's going on. I really have no idea.
Well, at least you're here. Um, let me talk to Evelina about it. Marina says, what's the other person's name?
I can try to write it. I don't know if I got it right. It's
What's his name?
Luke Valette.
Nicolette or just Colette? And what is your group number?
I think it was the last one. I think it was the 12th.
I think you're group 12. Is that right?
The last one, I think.
Okay, yes, that's the last one. What was the name of your co-presenter?
No, I am the co-presenter. He's the main one. He's Luke Valette. I don't know what's going on.
Can you say his name again? Is it Colette?
Luke, and his surname is Valette.
Valette.
Yes.
Valette?
Yes. I think he just messaged me and he's trying to put the ID, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if he's received the email. This is the problem with not having just one link. Instead, they send out individual links for each meeting and everybody has to get that email, and it can be quite complicated. And so, as opposed to just one link which everybody gets and then they can use it and always get in. It's much more tricky with this system, but unfortunately that's the only way they can do this Zoom meeting that's a webinar format.
I understand that still. I think our main problem has been that Luke has been out for the summer, so there's a lot of stuff he has lost.
Yes. Yes. I agree, that's a challenge. Can you spell his name?
Luke.
R-E-K-E?
Luke.
L-E-K-E. Luke?
Yes.
Luke. Okay. And what's his last name?
Valette. Valette.
Okay. Well, we'll see if Evelina can help him. She should have email addresses for everybody. She could send a new email to him.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
I've told him the email might be resent so that he checks, but I'm not having the best connection, so.
That's okay. Today is the day for practicing and trying to work out any problems, so I'm glad you're here. Yes. It can be a challenge.
I am now struggling with my connection, but I'm trying to contact him to see if he can see the email.
Mm-hmm.
He has received the email. He should be joining pretty soon.
Okay, good. I guess the problem is that Luke didn't register for the conference, for this practice session. So I just sent an email to Evelina at the Gruen team to send Luke an invitation email. So hopefully he'll get it and join us soon.
We had an issue and he couldn't contact us in time, so he was a bit late. I told him to send an email to the Gruen team, but I don't know if he was able to.
Well, I just got an email from the Gruen team saying he didn't register. Should I send an invitation to Luke. Personally, I think we're better off just using a static link, and once everybody has it, anybody can join, and it doesn't change. But that's not the way this webinar format works. You have to send out a unique email for each day to each person, and it's only works for them. And a lot of people are having problems finding the email, that kind of thing.
Luke told me he has the ID, but it doesn't work. So I don't
Yes.
know.
Well, just tell him to hold on. Well, hopefully Evelina will send him an invitation here. I sent the email about 1 minute ago, so hopefully he'll get it very soon.
So he has received a notification from Zoom. It's in French, but I can halfway translate it. And it says that there's another meeting, so he can join.
That is a old link. That link is the old one. That's the static link that never changes. But they're trying this new system. It's got 3 levels: hosts, panelists, and attendees. And as I said, it takes a special invitation for each person. So it's much more complex, and you can see the problem. It's a lot of students are having a hard time joining. I'm not sure how long this meeting will last. It was set up by the Gruen team. I think it only goes until, well, 12 more minutes. So if we get cut off, use this link as a backup. If the meeting ends early, this is the old link, the one that never changes. So if we get cut off, we will go to that Zoom meeting as a backup, okay?
Thank you very much.
But it won't work right now because we're in this one. So I don't know. Honestly, I would just leave a meeting open 24 hours a day, always use the same link, and then everybody can come in easily. And they always know what the link is. But they wanted to try this more complicated system, and we'll see how it goes.
This time I'm glad we got to practice, because if this had happened the very same day, I don't know what we could have done.
Yes, I agree. Oh, there he is. Oh, no, that's King Hay. So that's the next presenter.
Yes, I'm from Team 9.
Hello, is this King Hay?
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Good to hear you. We are waiting for another student to arrive from, what group was it? What group are you, Marina? Group 12, that's right. And what group are you in, King Hay?
I'm from Group 9.
Group 9.
Yes.
Yes, I see. So you're waiting for Samson?
Samson will not come today. He's not available.
Okay, that's fine. Well, Marina, do you want to wait for Luke, or do you want to go ahead and try presenting by yourself?
I really don't know, because if I present by myself, I don't know if Luke will, know how this works. And I think he really wanted to be a presenter, but at the very same time,
here's Luke. Here's Luke. Here he has showed up. He's here now. And King Hay, if this meeting cuts off at the hour, which is in 10 more minutes, we will use this as a backup.
Okay.
This is the old link and the one that never changes. I'm hoping we can use that to continue the practice if this meeting cuts out in 10 minutes, 9 minutes now. So I don't know if it was set up to stay open or not. It should be, But anyways, that's the backup link. If necessary, we'll shift over to that one.
Okay, thanks, bye. Thanks, friend.
Yes. Okay, Luke, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you just fine.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. I'm very sorry. I had the very old link and I tried to go on and it said it didn't exist or it was changed calls.
Yes, it's a lot of problems with this. You have to find, with this system, you have to find the exact email with the exact link to join this meeting. So it's
Okay.
very dependent on finding the right email, and it's a unique link for each day. So it's a little more complicated, but that's the way this system works. And now we have attendees, panelists, and hosts. But whenever you guys are ready, why don't you start your videos?
Okay.
And we'll see if your audio can still maintain quality. Marina, are you going to share your video also?
I'm trying. I think I have to run open, so I have to close it before. Will I share like the geniality we had or only the video?
I'm sorry, was that a question to me?
Yes, shall we share the geniality we had or
Yes.
only...
Who's going to share it? Which student is going to share it?
I don't know, I don't mind sharing it, so...
Okay. You see the button at the bottom, the green button? When you share, notice that at the bottom of the screen that pops up, it says 2 tick boxes, share computer sound and optimize screen sharing for video clip. I would tick both of those boxes, particularly for a video. Do you see those check boxes? After you click on the green button that says share,
Yes.
share screen,
So,
at the bottom left, it says share computer sound.
for me it doesn't, at least. It only says share video, so...
Share media.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about the sound.
Well, we'll see if it displays the sound, but typically if you run a video, you have to tick those boxes that say share computer sound. It's all the way at the bottom left for the whole pop-up box.
I think look is also in the geniality, so I can't open it. Maybe you can look, because normally allows one person to be taking the presentation.
Okay. Luke, what do you see when you click on share screen?
On the share screen?
Yes. Does it say at the bottom, share computer sound? Bottom
said,
left?
On the bottom left, it says to start a video.
Okay. And optimize screen sharing for video clip. Does it say that?
Optimizing, because I have it in French, but I can put it in English.
Those 2 tick boxes need to be ticked if you're going to share a video. Right. And Luke, did you notice that the in the chat, that backup link, we'll use that as a backup if we get cut off, because I'm not sure if this type of meeting is scheduled to stop automatically. If it does, it will be in 5 more minutes. And then we'll try to use that backup link, the static link that never changes.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So Luke, why don't you try sharing the video?
I have a shared, I can share my screen,
Yes.
But the video is the video we've done.
Yes. Do you also want to share your video while you're showing do you want to show your faces while you're displaying the video or not? It's up to you.
I don't have the video.
Ah, okay. Marina, do you have the video?
But you mean the video we did with? I did a video, but it was with the rest of the students of Maria Jesus. I haven't been told anything about making another video. We have our presentation, which had
Okay.
sound.
There's a presentation. That's why. Okay, I have the presentation.
Okay, then why don't you go ahead and practice your presentation? Do you want to
All
share
right.
your video like this?
Oh, you mean
Coming. So okay. I'm gonna share the screen.
Do you want to show your face while you're doing your presentation? Okay, there's Maria. Hello.
Oh,
Good. King Hey. Not your video yet because this is not your presentation, but thank you for testing. And there's Luke. Okay. All right. So go
I
ahead
can share
and
it?
yes,
can share
go
it.
ahead and share and start your presentation. And you got 15 minutes, unless we get cut off.
You see it? Do you see it?
No, I don't see you sharing your screen.
There you go. Okay, do you see it now?
Yes, there you go. So perfect. I'll turn off my video and you have 15 minutes. Unless you get cut off in 3. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, so we're going to talk about our green urban environment. So what we need to know is that we started with different different titles of how to create our green urban environment. There is what our topics. Our topics is the clean water and sanitation, life below water. One of the architects, like the architectural buildings we wanted to build that was sustainable and non-polluting underwater. Life on land, quality education, zero hunger, good health and well-being, affordable and clean energy, sustainable cities and communities, industry innovation and infrastructure. Wait a second. Responsible consumption and production, no poverty, decent work and economic growth, peace, justice, and strong institution, climate action, partnership for the goals. So our environment. What we're going to talk about is the way we've ordered our different topics. So there is no plastic. Wait a second. I try to jungle on the presentation and on my world. I'm coming. So we're going to talk about how, first up, the carbon neutral. So the Carbon Neutral Cities Alliance CNCA collaboration. So working for global cities in order to suppress complete greenhouse effect from 80 to 100% by 2050. A carbon neutral city because we have the idea that by planting trees, we can lower greenhouse effects. So the more we plant trees, the more we don't have the effort to actually suppress it by machines or whatsoever, but the nature can take care of it. So we need to green more our city. So we privilege first of the greenish. So we plant more trees and see for the rest. Second, there is the environment, the noise and pollution. So how much our everyday life in our industries create noise pollution towards nature. So we need to also take this in factor. So there will not only be trees, but as well the how in our society we can suppress the more noise. So all the cars, all the way we use our phones, because there's also infrasounds that are damaging for example, birds and the way nature actually grows, because it needs to be linked with the whole nature in the whole process. So if we use our phones, it disturbs the, for example, singing of the birds or developing nature. Light pollution, which is one grand factor. Light pollution disturbs a lot the nature, the animals, and all the ecosystem. It has to be suppressed. So the way we wanted to suppress it is to I didn't see that though. I'm gonna catch on. The air pollution, so the obvious third one. So for the air pollution, we know that electric cars already are being done, but it costs a lot of money. So what we are trying to privilege is biking. The way we have a very central local way of transportation. So for example, bikes or electric motorcycles like motors and other sort of equipments that also privilege sports and good health in our way. And that's more the local, because cars will never be suppressed in itself, but we can actually privilege the bikes and the cars for long distancing. But in the local, we can use our own ways of going from a place to another because it's very close. So the water contamination, we know water contamination is a problem all over the world, but we can treat water in another way by not pouring all the, by doing, by, how can I explain, by putting aside what is to be treated as the very not clean water, and the water itself that is going to be filtered. So all of these trash and all of this pollution could be reused. So we can actually use renewable bottles, renewable bags that can be used for other stuff, and not use plastic that cannot be renewed, and always treat them in some special bins, special trash cans. So we cannot just put one trash can for everything, and people will have to respect it in some ways. This will give more opportunities, more jobs, because the more we treat plastic, the more we regenerate plastic, we retransform it, we reuse it, will create more employment. And so we can distinct these two families. So in water contamination, obviously the solutions are also plants, because plants always filter. So that's also a natural way of filtering water, is to use the trees we are about to plant and this whole nature, because the job is already done on this side, on this place. So structures like new technology or new houses with a very greenish sort of design that filters water whenever we use it, with plants, growing plants everywhere. The well-being. So the well-being is more on our own side, because we know that it affects nature, all the pollution, sound pollution, pollution in itself, the air pollution, and light pollution, but it also affects us, because in our everyday life, our tiring, the ear gets very tired and very disturbed by all the environment and all the infrasounds or the ultrasounds, the way it is managed. So we need to think about our own well-beings and in coherent with the nature. So if we do this for nature, we also do it for ourselves. And it'll also create a business, because the more we create of these new technologies that will suppress sounds, it will give us more of a consciousness of this research of nature and this research of not of all these sounds. And so it will give a sort of harmony. Good health and well-being. How does nature help us? So, as you know, we privilege a lot of nature. That's our first goal, is to or plant trees or privilege nature in the whole city. So that's in the forests, ecological farming, walks on a clean environment. So ecological farming means that the farming we do is industrial, but local and at reach, because we can actually access it very easily. We don't have to make it travel. Walks on clean environment. So we need to rebuild forest or preserve them so we can have this sort of second side. So we have the city and we have also the forest to get a very good fluent, free and very oxygened health, because forests provide oxygen. So we need this balance between the city and the forest. Good health and well-being. I've never heard of this problem before. So that's a scientific test that proves how much we hear some sounds that are from or our mobile phones or from all technologies that are sounds we don't actually hear per se, but there are sounds, they still exist, and it disturbs us in some way even though we don't hear them. It's a very high frequency sound that reaches a certain point where you don't hear it, but we can feel it, and it's disturbing, and it's not good for our well-being. And so we're willing to suppress this as well. So the education is the first factor of our well-being, because obviously we're going to be talking about how we take care of the nature and how we, for example, treat in bins, what bin has to be treated, what do we have to put in what bin, how do we respect nature, how do we train, for example, if we have a dog, to take care of the whole things that we take care of with the dog or with everything we have all the time. So our well-being is also on our education. So we privilege universities or even the schools to respect the nature, to respect the rules of how we treat it, to not put things on the floor, bring it back, plant a tree. So that could be more employment. That could be part of education, because the more we want to treat our city, the more we create education. And so we create employment, because it's more jobs. And so it's a whole sort of circle business. So the way we manage industry and technology, we can have an industry and a technology, but we need to minimize, for example, the CO2, because first off, CO2 doesn't really exist anymore, even though it still is present. But today we're switching on a very on a technology that doesn't use carbon dioxide anymore, or even other. Although the infrastructure takes a lot of resources that pollute once we throw them, for example, cables or computers and whatsoever. So we're thinking about switching on a green energy, or we take care of these mobile phones in a minimalized way in some local places in a city with different industries that first off don't create this carbon dioxide, minimalizes the numbers of technology and phones, but can still use them, in companies that favor all the time green urban environments. So the garden house, which is very classic today, but it's one of the things we would like to push on forward. The garden house is a house with not only just garden or vegetation or like a very greenish environment that is so-called healthy. It's an environment that is more oxygen for the atmosphere. It has less, as you can see, less less petrol and less roads, so it's more greenish and it preserves this sort of side of nature. It surrounds the house, so it's kind of has a little design and a little fancy. It, as I mentioned, it creates more oxygen. It also is better for nature, for all the animals, and for the housing. A house for all seasons. So this is actually a good idea, because we use a lot of energy, for example, in the winter or in the summer. Well, less, because we don't need to heat up the house. But if we use this each season-ish house, where at each season we use our energy in a very clever way, by, for example, taking the energy from the ground to heat up the house during the day, or during the day isolate more. And this is a way we can have a very environmental circle, which helps. Industry innovation and infrastructure. So we need greener incorporations in common environments. So more we have parks, the more we have trees, the more we have actual very green environments, it will help us have our mental status like way better. The way we study, the way we treat the environment helps us cohere in between each other, in a very mutual relation between each other, a community, or we respect nature altogether. And so it helps us gather around. And so we have less violence, I guess, because we more or less have this sort of common base where we have to take care of nature, so we don't have this sort of pursuit for or money or anything else. We have this shared community where we respect all of us the same thing. Industry innovation and infrastructure. So as mentioned, the innovation and infrastructure is a very important factor, because the technology or whatever way of whatever goods we're using has to be or recycled or minimalized, because we buy too much. Zero energy, your refrigerator. So refrigerator actually consumes a lot of petrol, as we know, by the whole scientific process. By creating cold, it uses a lot of energy and fuel. So we could use a zero energy bio refrigerator. There's a biophotovoltaic moss table, which also uses the energy from the sun. That's also a good idea, because the more we use the sun's energy, the more we have to because we locally create energy. We don't have to go get it from a nuclear center, or it's just independent. And so it's way better in our way. Economy. So obviously we might ask, the economy is in question because it's a lot of money to invest, but this economy is going to be grown because it's going to be more employment. And on the same way, the more we create of this green energy, the more we have a reputation, the more we have a coherent way with the UN and for the rest of the world, the way we share our way of thinking, our philosophy. For example, in Bhutan, there's a zero energy sort of goal, even though in Bhutan, because it's between the Alps, they know what they're doing. It is still a place where there's zero carbon dioxide. So to take the example of Bhutan, they have a major influence on the rest of the world, because their goal is to have a very clean and green environment. They're kind of obliged, because they cannot do without it. If they actually pollute, the glaciers from the Himalayas are going to melt. So they don't have really a choice, but they still do it. They also have a GNH, a happy sort of, they don't have a GDP sort of rank, but it's a happy Gini coefficient on how much people are happy, and the happiness of each people is the rate. And so it inspires and it brings a lot to the world. And so we're looking to that. And our economy could be based on the way we protect nature and finance it. And it would be just another circle. So this circle, this famous circle, the decent working economic growth, production, the use of it, the recycling, the reuse, the recycling, which reproduces, and the reuses. The new revenue models, because the economy will be built on something else. So we kind of are going to build a new economy on something way more different, but that also brings money. New employment, new revenue models, product design. So taking reuse, repair, the use of modular parts and different production process into account. Supply chain collaboration, high value reuse and recycling. Renewable energy, so we already know this, because this renewable energy, we know it by éoliennes, like these pals that use the wind for energy, the photovoltaic energy by the sun, the natural capital. So by using nature, we're not going to be worrying ourselves about reducing the carbon dioxide because we have trees.
Luke,
And
Luke, can you hear me?
yes, do you hear me?
Yes, you're well over your limit. So how much presentation do you have left?
I think we're almost done. Oh, partnerships. Okay, I think we're almost done by seeing the slides. I'll go quick. Partnerships. So we're gonna have different businesses that will cooperate and generate this sort of general happiness of how we treat nature. And so it will be a new business. And so other businesses will go in factor. Partnerships for the goals. So we're all going to be union. We have this common sense of how we create nature. So we'll create a community. We're all going to be into it. And so it'll be like this new way of living. Instead of consuming, we can create greener spaces, and it will be another way of consuming our environment in a very sustainable way and a new way for our new generations. A group work. So I guess I can go beyond that.
Yeah, you're going to have to practice this and cut it down to 15 minutes. There's a good review. Actually, you might want to move that slide to the beginning just to, kind of introduce yourselves. You might want to put your real pictures in those instead of just the anonymous faces. Also on the left side of your screen, I see the Lord of the Rings trilogy audiobooks. Can you click that little arrow and move that off?
Oh, okay. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, you're okay. Yes.
I think it's the arrow in the middle of the screen right next to creator.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
That's it. Yeah, so let's do that for the actual presentation. I'd recommend these credit slides be moved to the front, and you're going to have to cut it down to 15 minutes because I won't let you go past 16 on the actual day. I will mute your microphone, young man.
Okay.
Sounds so harsh, but I will send you warnings, right? I'll say 1 minute left, 15 minutes, and then at 16 minutes, I will mute your microphone and say, thank you very much, group number 12 or whatever it was. So, Marina, if you're not going to speak, I'm glad you're here, but I would turn off your video while he's presenting. So just kind of, otherwise we just look at you kind of, you're just sitting there. So I think better to have one person show their video when they're speaking. And the main task for you, I think, is to cut it down to 15 minutes and practice some more. I realize it's been months since you thought about this, right? So you're going to have to practice until it feels more fresh, and you the thoughts can flow more easily, and you can bring up that translation from the French, it sounds like, so that it comes to you more naturally. But that's what I would recommend over the next 4 days, is practice a few more times.
Okay.
All right, your pronunciation is very good. You have a great accent, very easy to understand your speech. It's just a matter of being more familiar with the material, the ideas that you guys want to put out there.
The vocabulary, okay.
Yeah, the vocabulary, and cut it down to 15 minutes. That's going to be a challenge. But you're only over a couple, so it's not too bad as far as getting it down to 15 minutes.
Okay. Thank you, Brand, for the presentation. Now I'm kind of refreshed. So I'm going to work on the vocabulary and the way I manage the resources, right, of what I've researched, of what Marina researched, and rework them. Okay.
Yes. All right. Good. Well, I'm glad you showed up. As I was explaining to Marina, there's you have to get the right email for that day. So Let me share my desktop here, and I want to show you this. So that is the day one schedule. Now your group, what was your group number?
12, I think.
Yeah, so you would be in the second group. So you would start at 11 Central European time, somewhere in that block of time. I'm getting a flicker here. But group 12, you'd be right at the end of that. So down closer to 6 p.m., I would say, is when you would start your presentation. But obviously, if you want to come earlier and watch the other presentations, up to you if your schedule permits.
Okay.
And then hopefully, go ahead.
So the other reunions will be on Thursday up to Saturday, right?
Say again.
The reunions will be from Thursday to Saturday. For the presentations.
Well, I think Friday is the first day, September 10th. That's the day
okay.
that's listed here as day one. And then cycle 2 groups will present on day 2, Saturday. And then of those 12 groups, well, actually it's more, 12 and 12, 24 groups. I believe they're going to cut it down to 6, I think was the number I saw last for the finalists. And they will be invited to attend on the third day, and they'll be involved with Q&A with the judges. And then they'll award prizes to the top 3, I think was what the last discussion I saw.
Okay. So
you're definitely on day 1, which is Friday, September 10th. And just looking at this schedule here, I would say around 12:35. No, it'd be about 12 p.m., around noon, I guess, for you in Europe. You see what I mean? Because you would be one of the last groups before the closing remarks. So I'll send out a more exact schedule, but we'll probably go over. There should be 5 minutes allowed between the different presentations for any issues, turning it over to the next group. But I would estimate you should definitely be online by noon on September 10th. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay. Okay. I see.
All right. Okay. Well, thanks for showing, and good job. You're very clear, your speech. Just practice a bit and get it down to 15 minutes. You want to discuss it with Marina, perhaps, and kind of review, kind of make it fresh in your mind?
Okay.
All right. Well, take it easy. I guess it's King Hay's turn. All right. So you can log off if you want. King Hay, hello. Unmute your microphone. There you go. See you later, Luke. Can you turn off your video? There you go. All right. You're ready to go. Excellent. All right. Well, you got 15 minutes of fame. All right. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. So, good morning. I'm Thomas from King Hay from Hong Kong, and I'm from Team 9. My team consists of 6. Nathan and I is from Hong Kong, and coincidentally, the other 4 teammates are from the Netherlands. Today, we are going to focus on the following 3 topics, namely clean air, clean water, and the waste of water. And for each topic, we'll break down them into 3 subtopics. They are problems and our idea to alleviate these problems, and the solutions in our clean city, that is clean city. Regarding clean air, we are now facing the problem of increased release of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. It is mainly due to increased human activity. The human activities include farming, transportation, manufacture of building materials, turning on the air conditioners, heaters, etc. Second, it is increased burning of fossil fuels to generate energy. Upon burning of fossil fuels, it will generate a large amount of carbon dioxide, and other particulate, etc. The first main contributing factor is deforestation. Deforestation will not only increase carbon dioxide production, but also reduce the amount of carbon dioxide absorbed from the atmosphere. According to an article, there is the loss of forest lands account for 20% of global production of carbon dioxide. So isn't it very severe if we continue with our deforestation? And therefore, deforestation will lead to an increase in carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. And according to this graph, we can observe in the industrialization, the annual total carbon dioxide emissions is increasing and has increased to a far high above 35 billion tons of carbon dioxide in 2018. And here is our solution for this problem. It mainly composed of three ways. The first way is green waste for producing energy. And we can install solar panels, wind farms, hydro energy, and biofuels. They are renewable energy to generate different forms of energy to deal with the increased demand. The second way is enhance the biodiversity around our city by setting up forests, parks, or even rooftop gardens. And for green transportation, we can increase the usage of electric cars, green public transport like the MTR in Hong Kong, bus, and trains in the Netherlands. In Netherlands, since 2017, all electric passenger trains have been powered using green energy, and under the scheme, all new buses must use 100% green energy, and all buses must be fully emission-free from 2030. And we can also promote the green concept of using bike as our main mode of transportation. Like in Germany, there are over 80% of Germans who are using bikes as their main mode of transportation. And here is our solution in our green city. From this graph, we can see we have installed many wind turbines to generate wind energy, as inspired by the Netherlands. At the end of 2015, there were at least 2,500 onshore wind turbines in the Netherlands, generating a total 3,000 megawatts of electricity. This is around 5% of the Netherlands' total requirement, as mentioned in the Netherlands government official website. And from this graph, we add a lot of green features in the community. Like we have planted many trees, we have add many farms, and even some rooftop gardens. And regarding clean water, we are mainly in the role. There are some countries where there are many people who do not have clean water. According to the UNICEF, the World Health Organization, there are 1 in every 3 people globally do not have access to safe drinking water, and as a result, people may get ill, and some children may die of water illness. According to this graph, we can see there are now 844 million people who do not have basic drinking water services. And we can see how the water quality issue is severe in the world. The second problem is the Pacific Ocean. When the marine life come across plastics, they may injure them and die. And while some animals may get trapped by plastic products and die, while the fortunate ones may stay alive, but plastic will enter the entire food chain and we suffer eventually. So according to this graph, You can see by 2050, the amount of plastic will outweigh the fish, predicts a report from the Ellen MacArthur Foundation in partnership with the World Economic Forum. And here are our suggested solutions for the problem. First, we can install some clean water taps in the streets to provide safe clean water to anyone, no matter how poor he or she is. Second, we can reduce the production of plastic. Therefore, less plastic will end up in the ocean. Third, we can increase the usage of compostable plastic with some special industrial processes in high temperature, high humidity, and in aerobic conditions. As a result, these proper handling methods they pose a clear threat to the ecosystem as traditional plastic does. Without those conditions, the plastic won't decompose into water, carbon dioxide. As seen, here is the solution in our green city. We install many water supplying facilities to provide clean water to the residents living nearby. And in some cities, there are some water supplying facilities which supply clean water to the residents. Third, last become the last problem, waste of water. So what are the problems we are facing now? To begin with, there is much clean drinking water wasted annually through households and factories. In households, we mainly lost the water in the following ways: showering, cleaning, and when the tap is left open. In factories, there is much water is required in industrial processes. And what are the solutions for the problem? First, we can save rainwater in tons, and therefore we can save water that are initially used to water our gardens. Second, we can install pedals for water taps. Therefore, no water is lost when we don't have the pedal. Last, we can also save used water to flush the toilet and mop the floor. And third, we can also promote concepts of sustainable consumption. According to this graph from WRI across the platform, it shows that around 2,700 liters water is used to produce just one coast. It's really hard to imagine. And a 2017 report found that in 2015 alone, the fashion industry consumed 79 billion cubic meters of water, which is enough to build 32 million Olympic-sized swimming pools. That figure is expected to increase by 50% by 2030. It's a staggering amount since the Earth's water resource is running low. Therefore, it's vital to us to adopt the sustainable consumption to save some water. So how can we do so? In terms of buying clothes, we can reduce the frequency of buying clothes and use the eco-friendly alternative textiles, which require a fewer amount of water to manufacture. And the solutions in our green city involves installing pedals and adopting the mode of agroponics. And so far we have covered the three main topics concerning the environmental issues. And here comes our communication of the ideas and solution method. And yes, to sum up, we are assiduous in this project. And here is our teamwork distribution. here are our references list.
Okay, very
And this is
good.
the end of our presentation, and we relish working on it. I don't know how to pronounce it.
We
On
relish
the
working on the Gruen.
on the Gruen project, and thank you all for listening.
Yes, very good.
Yes.
I turned off your video. Go ahead and turn it back on if you like. Yeah, it doesn't really make much difference on the audio, but I hear a wind noise, like
Yes,
once
I
in a
turn
while.
on.
Yes, the
I turn on
aircon.
that.
That's probably it. I hope that solves the problem. So, yes, I don't hear it anymore. So that's it. It was blowing on you. So let's try to avoid that on the actual presentation day. Otherwise, you're in Hong Kong, is that correct?
Yes.
So your bandwidth should be
I'm
no
in Hong Kong.
problem. And the audio sounds good. So you should be able to leave your video open. But if you do have audio problems, like especially that kind of bleep, 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 that kind of noise where the voice gets very difficult to hear, I will close your video, but just keep talking. But I'm glad you found the problem with the aircon, because that was definitely it. It's probably rotating back and forth, right? It's going up and down, and when it blows across your earphones, that's the problem there. Otherwise, your audio sounds pretty good. So, and you're well under limit. You were only at 12 minutes when you finished, so you should have no problems in your 15-minute presentation. So good job. Thank you for coming to practice today. Thank you for your patience. And that should conclude our practice for today. I will see you on September 10th. What is your group number?
Team 9.
Group 9. So you're also in the second group. So you will start probably around 5:30 p.m. in Hong Kong, roughly, on the 10th. But you might want to come a little early just to hang out and watch other people and be ready.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming, King Hei.
Okay. Thank you, friend.
All right.
Bye.
Take care. See you later.